Otakuology Podcast with Otaku Mike and Jin Graves.
Hey guys, what's up? Jin here, back with another episode of the best podcast in the world.
The Otakuology Podcast.
Otakuology Podcast.
It's the Otakuology Podcast.
I feel like we should, you know how they do the like epic rap battles of history where it's like I feel like we should do Otakuology. Yeah, welcome to the show. Otakuology.
I feel like we're the two Muppets, you know, who were up in the rafters or whatever. You know.
Oh my god, no.
What is it? Was it Orndle and Wardloff? I don't know what their names are.
I don't know, but now you're making me think of like Beaker with. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome to our show. I'm Jin, and of course, the guy over there that you guys can't see on the camera, but he's over there, is Otaku Mike.
Yes.
Which he likes to say that we're heterosexual life partners.
Or we are heterosexual life partners. We've been doing this for 3 years.
So, did you get that picture yet? Those pictures?
No, I'm not allowed to take pictures.
I totally forgot to message, because I told you I was going to message you every day, and I was like, I sat there today and I was like, well, I fucking forgot to do that shit. I'm off like a week.
The last thing I fucking need is taking pictures at work and then getting called into like HR. Why are you taking pictures of your coworkers?
You're like, they told me to. Snapchat.
Having to explain that, like, oh well, my podcast co-host / partner.
Oh, you can just put me on the phone.
Really wants to see them.
Be
my coworkers. So yeah.
Like, so they asked me some like odd questions, and when Mike talks about them, like, I'm a facial recognition guy, so like I have to know what people look like, or whenever we do names, like I don't remember who we're talking about because I don't have a name for a face.
It's fine. We're not going to do that because I'm probably not going to bring them up anymore. Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, you still got to bring them up, because if I come see you, then I got to meet them.
Oh, that is true. But
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it just
you can meet my coworkers.
Because I was talking to my coworker today, and I was telling him about that, and I was like, I can't remember their names, and he was like, "What do you mean? Like, You've talked to Mike about it, like, on and off, da da da." I said, "Yeah, but I can't remember their name." He goes, "What do you mean you can't remember their names?" I go, "I don't know what they look like, so I can't remember names." Like, John, is it John?
It's Jonathan. We can call him John, Johnny Boy.
Okay. See, I was like, it's John or Jim, and then the other one is
what do you think it is?
It starts with a P.
Yeah, it does.
Page.
No, you're totally off.
Damn it.
Is Paris.
Hey, see, look, I wasn't that far off.
Page, Paris, okay. Anyways.
They got two of the same letters.
Anyways, Jen, what are we talking about for the next 6 episodes of this podcast?
So, technically, wouldn't it be 7?
Okay, 7. Sorry, I'm sorry, I forgot we're going to do that movie.
If I can find it.
Yeah, you can
maybe,
get it.
Maybe 6, hardcore 6, maybe 7. We are going to be covering the Digimon Tri-movies.
Yes, we are.
For everybody's enjoyment.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that you had on your list, apparently.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, yes, I did.
I own all the movies.
I do too.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I feel like it almost should be like a Sekirei because I own 3 versions of Sekirei
Uh-huh.
because I have it on PSN, I have it on iTunes, and I think I bought it. I think I bought it somewhere else,
Uh,
maybe. But I've had like 2 or 3 versions of it,
I can't.
and then Digimon I have on PSN, but I don't have it anywhere else. But I feel like I should.
I mean, the DVDs are pretty cheap. You can get like the Blu-ray for like the Blu-ray pack for like 50, $60. It's not terrible.
I don't want to have to find a place to put that.
I mean, you just put it on your shelf.
I don't want to have to put that on my shelf because then I'd
Okay.
be like, well, now I need more.
I mean, you can get
And
more.
then it turns into your movie bookshelf, and I'm like, I hate myself.
anyways, we are talking about Digimon Adventures Try Reunion, the movie, because there's also a TV show called
Uh,
Digimon Try that
I don't
came
think
out.
so.
There is. It came out after the TV show. I mean, after the
You,
movies came out.
you mean the one that we saw on the thing that I was telling you about?
Yeah.
That it's not. It's just a bust up thing of the movies.
Yeah, they took and cut it up and made it into a movie. It made it into a TV
Yeah,
show.
but it's the same stuff.
I know it's the same thing, but they basically did the Futurama thing where they took the Futurama movies and turned it into a season of the TV show. Is basically what they did with the
I did
Digimon
not know
movies.
that they did that to Futurama.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Like one of the seasons is like the movies cut up.
The more you know. See, I always think it's like that Gundam one where they had it as like a movie and then they cut it into a TV show, so it's like 3 or 4 episodes.
No, what are you talking about?
The one that we talked about last show
No,
with Brandon.
that was the TV show that got cut up into the movies.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But that's kind of what I feel like they did with Try, because Try is they just basically cut the movies into 3 parts and then spliced everything together to say,
basically,
this is a TV show.
basically.
So it went from being 6 to like 18.
There's like 25 episodes, I think.
Which I just want to say, that is some bullshit. Because if you get people's hopes up and all you did was fucking cut shit up, that's fucking horrible. At that point, you might as well be like a serial killer. And not the killer one, the one that murders cereal. Like, eating it.
Anyways, let's get back on track. Let's talk about this movie.
Chugga.
You wanna start us off?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we kind of go into this with like a weird scenario,
Oh
which,
yeah.
which, I mean, I feel like it's a good interpretation of like Matt and Ty's relationship
Mm-hmm.
because they both are very strong characters.
Yeah.
And so we have Matt, which is trying to get part of the friends of the other DigiDestined to come to his rock show.
Yeah. His new band.
His new band.
His new band.
What is it called?
I forgot what the old band was.
Knife.
It's called Knife of Day, is what it was called.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Because him and Ty are talking at one point in the movie, and he's like, "Oh, what happened to whatever band it was called? I don't remember what it was called.
Because we broke up.
We broke up. Creative differences." And he's like, "What's your new band? Knife of Day." And he said it so seriously, like I busted out laughing. Like he's like one of those like, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, my band's name is Red Jumpsuit Apparatus."
What's your name? Death Cab for Cutie?
Yeah, that's what I felt.
Oh my god, what if people had to go by their names, like you had to go to like the DMV, or like somebody was calling you up for something? Yes, can I get Mr. Death Cab for Cutie? Mr. Death Cab for Cutie.
But anyways, yeah, so like our go ahead.
Yeah, so we have Matt, and then we have Ty, who has a big soccer game coming up.
Yeah, and
And of course, we get both of their really good character traits that they have. You have Ty, who is like trying to like steal the spotlight and get everybody there, because if not, his feelings are hurt. Mm-hmm. And then you have what Mike just brought up of, because of Matt's creative differences, he doesn't have the original band he has. He's got a new brand that's supposed to premiere. And we see that a lot with the regular TV show, I feel like, on their character developments of how Matt tries to do his best, but then he also reneges a lot. And then we have Ty, who basically needs to be a glory hound and be like, I need somebody to...
I don't know if he's like a glory hound, really.
I feel like he is. Like, he needs people to basically like look up to him.
Because he is the de facto leader.
Yeah, and if he doesn't have that, I feel like that's usually when Agumon gets his ass kicked a lot too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If not everybody is like around to like kind of praise him a little bit, then there's almost like, no, I can't put heart into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're like dealing with this like predicament at this situation. Like Ty's like all upset. He's talking to Kari about how like nobody's gonna come cheer for him for his big game, and Matt's like, oh, nobody's gonna come check out my rock show, you know? And everybody is kind of very much living their own lives within after the whole events of Adventure 2, which was the second season. You know, because now they're in high school, they're more grown up. They haven't had contact with their Digimon in like a couple of years, I want to say. Like it's been a while.
I think they say it.
Yeah,
I want to say they say it's been like 3 years.
Because at one point, at the very beginning of this, we get this ominous like blackout silhouette where we.
What part did they say where? Shit. What's her name? The Mimi.
Mimi?
Yeah. How long did she say she was in America?
Not that long. She was not in America for not that long. She was like visiting America, I think.
No, they moved there.
Oh, she did? Oh, I don't know. Maybe a couple years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, she moved there, and I want to say she said they moved there for like 3 years, but it could be 4.
Maybe.
They moved there, and relevance to the movie is now her dad got a new job, or the job kind of moved him back to Japan, so now they were moving back.
Yeah, and it just happens to coincide with Ty's game, which she ends up showing up for. But like we get the beginning of this movie, we even get this ominous like almost like death scene of the second generation of DigiDestined, like just supposedly dying in battle. Did you see that part?
So
what?
I don't think I saw it. I just remember the little egg getting created.
Yeah, the egg gets created, and then like you see like these silhouettes of like Davis, Jolie, and the other one. I don't remember what his name was. And like they're all like falling in battle, basically, which they never bring up. None of the DigiDestins ever bring up what happened to the other generation, the second generation of DigiDestins at all within this movie. But they're at the beginning of this movie. And I had so many questions. I was like, what the hell is going on? Why are we just focusing on the OG cast, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, getting back to the story.
We're focusing on Try.
Getting back to the story, you know, we have this new not new group of people, but new setting, you know, the life without the Digimon we have, and they're getting back into their lives and whatnot, and everybody's going their separate ways. You know, like Joe is off doing Joe stuff, and Mimi's gone.
Joe's trying to get into college.
Yeah, he's trying to get into college, which I have things to say about that later on.
I have things to say about that because at least I've seen up to the first 3 movies. So
I've seen the first 2. I've seen the first 2.
And I have another problem, but we'll bring that up later with the other group of people all together. So
okay. but yeah, they're kind of dealing with all this and saying, oh, where should they go? Should they go to Ty's thing or go to this? They're all very disjointed. I have to say,
and not only that, but everybody else has like you said, they have their own thing. So like we have Joe that's trying to go to like after school prep,
yeah,
and like go to college, and we have Izzy, which we see him and he's at a French restaurant. Of course,
yeah, and
like
he
Mimi's
apparently
coming
helped.
back, but she's in America.
Yeah, and Izzy helped apparently start a company with the guy, like a tech
Yeah,
company or something. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Um, Sora is basically the only person that seems like she's actually relevant for everybody. Um, she's kind of our character that seems like she's trying to hold everybody together and do everything.
Yeah, that's true. She
Because
wanted to
she's the
go to
one that
Ty
calls
and Matt's, both of
everybody.
them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, like we have TK and Kari, and they play their own kind of roles into the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously Kari like focuses more on Ty, and TK focuses more on Matt, and they try and like help their siblings out and whatnot. So we know that those relationships are close knit.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like that's all we get for a good little chunk
Yeah.
until until
Until it
like shit
starts
hits
to,
the fan.
yeah, stuff starts to build up. I have to say that's one qualm I have with this movie is it gets a little. It takes a while to get actually started into the whole Digimon stuff.
Well,
And
and it seems that way. That's
yeah,
the other weird part about it, because the movie is like an hour and a half, right?
yeah, it's like hour 26 minutes with credits, I think.
So, like the first 20 minutes, we don't see any Digimon,
No. Well, we see it.
but
We see it one. We see one or two sprinkled out throughout in the background.
you like pictures and shit, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and
but
some
other
like
than that, we don't really see any of them, and you're kind of like, okay,
what's going on.
what exactly is this a Digimon movie, or did I accidentally walk into like Jimmy Neutron?
Yeah, we don't really get like the full like Digimon vibe. I would say we're very much catching up with all the characters in this weird status quo that they have going on. But
Right.
eventually, Tai ends up getting into it with the Kawagumon, which was the
Yes, he's riding his bike and one flies overhead.
yeah, one flies overhead and he follows it. No, he's at a soccer game and he leaves and he sees it, and then he basically the Quagumon starts to go after him, which is a cool scene, I have to say, a really cool scene. Like
You know another cool thing related to that?
it's the first enemy that they fought in the original show.
Yeah, it's the first enemy that they actually saw that
Yeah,
was in Digimon.
yeah, and then they even like kind of mention that and go back to that eventually. Like he's
Yeah,
like
they show a little
acting
bit.
different and stuff. And then we get our boy Agumon finally shows up, and he's like, "I got your back, tie," and he just like shows up out of nowhere. And like I loved seeing like the fights with the Digimon when they're big. Like it was just watching two fucking kaiju fight. Like the
Right.
way they
Yeah.
animated it was like amazing, like 10 times better than the show ever was. Like
Right.
the fights were so dynamic and stuff. I feel like in this, like more dynamic, as you could say. They're still kind of simplified a little bit,
Yeah.
and stuff. But like
Well,
seeing,
and
go ahead.
I liked how Ty was actually like a participant. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, he
Like
was.
it wasn't like, oh, there's a character in Godzilla or King Kong or whatever and Ultraman, and that they're
Yeah,
not actually involved in it. They're just kind of there. Well, Quagamon like busts Ty's phone up and goes after him and ends up almost knocking him off his bike a couple times, and then gets to
yeah,
the point where he actually crushes his bike. And we get this whole kind of like movement of how everything's going all at once. And I love it because we see all of this stuff going and what's going to happen out of it, with the Quagamon. Of course,
yeah.
then we had to figure out, well, what do we do when we get Agumon? Of course, go with the Greymon.
Yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, like, usually Greymon always, if there's nobody around, gets his butt kicked.
Usually, yeah.
I just think it's because Tai doesn't have heart at that point.
Well, I mean, as well, like, you have to have the big dramatic, like, comeback when, he is down, and then they have the other Quagumons, like, show up at the airport.
Right.
When they're at the airport, and we get I'm not gonna lie, when the other DigiDestins showed up with their Digimon, I got a little choked up a little bit. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah. The team's back together, except for two of them. Mimi was on her way, and Joe could give two fucks, I want to say. Like, Joe does not care. He doesn't.
So Joe didn't know.
Yeah, Joe didn't know at first, but eventually he does find out. He just blows him off.
Joe really just didn't know, because one thing that happened was everybody else had gotten picked up, and
well, they go to there's a scene where they go to pick him up, and he just like blows them off. He's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And
then nobody can contact him because all the electronics are like freaking out.
Yeah, so they tried to pick him up, but he didn't want to go with them. He was like, I'm not going,
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Which I just thought it was funny. Like, how Gomamon's shaped.
Yeah.
And I was like, this little guy's got to be hoofing it with his flippers trying to find Joe.
Well, eventually he like jumps in the water to go find Joe and swims off, and whatnot. Yeah. But like, I like it. I like it. Like, all the DigiDestins come together and whatnot, and they all Digivolve and whatnot, and they have their epic fight with the Quagumon. I think it's interesting that they do make a thing where like Patamon and Gomamon, they're not really, they can't really do anything. But my question is, because I don't remember from the show.
Okay.
But when Angemon, and then we had Gatomon doesn't Digivolve in this movie.
Right.
Why didn't Gatomon Digivolve into Angelwomon?
So
it hasn't
happened yet.
I know, but
no, there is a very good reason.
Was there a reason that I just couldn't remember why?
There is a very good reason.
Okay.
The reason why she doesn't turn into Angelwoman is because Gatomon is already a champion level Digimon.
Oh, okay.
That's the reason why.
Okay.
Because I think her name is Palmon when she's a little dog thingy.
Yeah.
That is
her
original form, of like Agumon or anybody else like that. That's what that one is. Gatomon is already a champion level, though.
Because I was so confused. I was like, why isn't she Digivolving?
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you really think about it, like, you have that, and then everybody morphs again.
Yeah.
So, you have Angemon, and Angemon turns into the big purple Angemon.
Yeah.
Which is his next one up. Well, Gatomon's Angelwoman is the same form for her when she does that. So that's the reason why she doesn't transform.
Okay. Yeah, I was so confused. I was so confused with that.
Well, I was confused whenever we got that point where TK's like, "All right, we got to Digivolve," and he gets Patamon to evolve to Digivolve. And then, but Kari was like saying the same thing too, and you're like, "Is Gatomon gonna Digivolve?"
Yeah, that's what I was like. Is Gatomon gonna Digivolve? No, she just punches the Quagumon in the face.
Yeah, but that's the reason why. She's already higher up than everybody else when they start.
Yeah, I was so confused by that, But we do find out that apparently there's like something going on with the digital world and the human world, and these Digimon are getting like infected, coming over
here. That our world, I'm going to say our world technically had the Digimon Men in Black.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously they knew about the DigiDestined because of what happened in the shows, you know.
Right.
But we get the Digimon Men in Black, which one of them ends up being their teacher.
Right.
And but before we get into that, we have this whole like little subplot with like Izzy making a safe zone for the Digimon.
Oh yeah. After the fight. After this fight.
Yeah, after the fight, yeah.
So that they can just go into computer screens if they have internet connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he fixes Kai's goggles so he can see spots.
Yeah, that part, yeah. But yeah, we do get Men in Black, the Men in Black, I guess you'd call them.
Which let me point this out to you.
Yeah.
And see if your brain links in the same way as mine.
Uh-huh.
Do you think in Digimon 3 that their people that were in it that were kind of their Men in Black are that the ones in this movie are the starting out form of those guys?
Well, are you talking about Digimon Tamers?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the third one. The third
with
one.
like Gilmon in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one technically is set in like our reality. So like in their reality, or our reality, I guess you could say, Digimon was the show in a card game.
Okay.
So they never. I'm thinking like one special episode, like later on in one of the later seasons, like all the main characters meet at one point or whatever. So like they technically, the main character for the third season technically met Tai at one point. But I mean, they had to universe hop basically, because there is like there is like multiverse stuff that actually does happen with like the Digimon stuff.
See, I didn't know that. I thought they were all connected.
Yeah, no, but it did give me vibes from the Tamers season.
Because Tamers, their teacher sounds like Kari.
That's because they use the same voice actors.
Hey, buddy, it could be her in the future. Okay, get off my back.
I think that was a theory people had that it was Kari, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we get the Digimon Men in Black and whatnot, which was weird. It was weird to see at points, I would say.
Hey, like who knew that Digimon liked gummies?
Oh yeah, Digimon like gummies. That was funny when Mimi brings them all like gummy snacks and whatnot. And we get this like the DigiDestined are trying to figure things out. They're not really working with the government agency at this point, because the government agency apparently has been taking care of the Digimon that have been breaking through this world with the help of Ginai.
Yeah.
At one point or another, you know. And them like this movie is kind of somewhat all over the place, I feel like, at points.
I agree.
And because we even have like the subplot of the new girl moving in and her like looking for her cat and stuff. What her name was, May or Mai? What's her name? What was her name? Mai?
That was what she called the cat.
That's what she called the cat? What was her name then?
That girl.
That girl?
Yeah. Stay tuned for try number 2 where we find out what her name is. I'm sure
her name was Mako. Her name was Mako.
Fucking done. Why do her and her Digimon have like the same name?
They kind of have the same names. But we have her, and like they're all trying to deal with stuff, like still deal with their life stuff and whatnot. And we get like the big like climactic battle. We're probably like butchering this whole fucking story, you know.
And then it seems like the Digimon movie where there was somebody that they had to protect. Yes. Because they had other Digimon that another Digimon, an evil Digimon, wanted.
Yes.
I mean, this is basically like it's still concepts from a lot of other places.
Yeah.
I mean, but so far, like I think, well, I mean, we've only watched this one, so I can't really say anything else yet. but I think this is probably one of the ones that I really enjoy a lot. But we do get into where we do see kind of our big bad guy,
Alphamon. Yeah.
Which I'm surprised that they don't have a model off of this guy yet, because he does kind of look like a Gundam.
I want to say there might be one out there. Who knows?
And then like everybody's trying to fight him.
Yeah, and I love there's also the whole subplot of Tai very much I don't want to say having second thoughts but really like looking at the damage that the Digimon caused throughout the world, and him being like second guessing, like, are we doing the right thing? Are we just hurting more people and stuff like that? Which his role very much does reverse, and Matt kind of becomes the new Tai, and Tai becomes the new Matt, kind of. I want to say, and because the whole thing is like getting Ty's resolve to become the leader again, and Matt's basically like, we got to do this. If we don't do this, nobody else is going to save the world.
Right.
It is our job.
And I think they grew a little bit from when they got locked in the room together,
Yeah, no, they do. They get locked in a was it a Ferris wheel? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they do grow a little bit.
They have to sit there though, because the other rest of the people are like, all right, they're already starting. We're gonna have to break this up, put them in there together, and let them talk it out.
Yeah, I mean they're friends, but they have a rivalry going on always.
Right.
And so Alphamon,
it is very much like everybody has grown apart because they all have different interests.
Yeah. And time has changed them, I guess you could say. Because Matt even says that, time has changed everybody. Like, everybody's changing and stuff like that. And, and then we get the big Alphamon fight, because Alphamon is looking for a Digimon called Maine Coonmon. And Maine Coon is it's like a fuzzy cat girl, a fuzzy cat, basically.
Fuzzy cat girl.
Well, she is a girl. She is a girl Digimon.
You just said a fuzzy cat girl.
She's a fuzzy cat girl Digimon. And Mako is looking for her cat, and it just turns out to be Maine Coon. We don't know why the Digimon wants Maine Coon, but
we could just call her May. You're gonna make me start cracking up if I keep hearing you say Maine Coon.
Sorry, May.
Maine Coon.
May. Sorry, May. And the DigiDestined to get involved, and Matt really does step up in this situation. I want to say, like, he basically
he does. I feel like he stepped up in both situations. Whenever they fought the Kawagamon and everything in that.
Yeah.
Now he did have to kind of hold him off a little bit for somebody else to come help him, but in this one we did see where Agumon got beat up, and he was like, okay, well now Matt had to take the position and hold it, and he's kind of pleading with Tai a little bit, like, hey,
like, basically,
we're the only ones that can do this, which everybody else kind of gets beat up. Of course, they only go to their champion level.
Yeah.
We do finally get to see Togemon, which is great.
Oh yeah, Togemon finally digivolves. For the short time they're there.
Still no Ikakumon yet, but
no Ikakumon.
But we do have this. I love it. I'm just gonna say that I love this little fight montage after. Matt ends up talking Tai into doing everything, and we have Greymon or Agumon digivolve into Greymon and do a fire blast, and we have Karurumon use like his lightning blast, and then they digivolve into
Weregarurumon
and Metal, and they use their iconic attacks, and then they go up to the next one, and they use their iconic attacks, and then we have War Greymon and Metal Garugumon, and they use their iconic attacks, and then we get where they fuse together and they turn into Omnimon, which Omnimon is my favorite Digimon.
Oh, really?
I didn't know if anybody
Really?
knows this, but yeah,
I
Omnimon is my favorite Digimon.
I used Omnimon a lot in the Digimon Cyber Sleuth game. Like
Oh yeah,
it took me a while to get him to Omnimon, but I did it. He,
oh yeah.
I like Omnimon. Omnimon's cool, but I want to say,
I need to re-download mine so I can play it.
I'm still working on the second game. But what I want to say, like, Ken, I got really big like relationship, like Naruto Sasuke vibes from Ty and Matt. I feel like they should just kiss now, like just make out, because they were like, I feel like there's like some unrequited love there in some way, shape, or form.
Hey, buddy, I think they could just be brother husbands with Sora.
Oh, maybe, yeah. But
I mean, you know, they both want to, and of course, like Izzy's going after Mimi, and there's not really anybody else that's there, you know. So
yeah. I mean, Joe doesn't have anybody, you know.
I mean, Joe does have a girlfriend though.
He does. He does have a girlfriend, and everybody
So,
was surprised he had a girlfriend.
yeah,
They were like,
right.
"What?
Like,
No."
yeah, you don't have one of those,
I I
Joe.
I kind of hope we see Joe's girlfriend like later on in these movies. I just want to say that. I just want to see what she looks like.
I hope so too, because I want to know this too.
Yeah.
I want to know this too, and it feels kind of weird, like if you're not like a DigiDestined or somebody that if you're not a DigiDestined dating a DigiDestined, or you're not a DigiDestined with a person that supports you, and
Yeah.
Joe has never talked to her about this stuff, it's gonna be like, what the fuck,
Well,
buddy?
he probably met her within like that 3 or 4 year gap. They had nothing to do with Digimon.
That's true. She's probably the girl that sits beside him in private school or whatever it is.
Maybe, you know. But I love the scene, the epic scene where they're fighting, like Omnimon and like Alphamon are fighting. And
Yes.
it's like a big like knockout, drag out, like things are getting destroyed. Like there's a lot of casualties. And like
Right.
we see the PTSD creep back into Ty. And he
Yes.
starts to have doubts again, which affects the fight with Omnimon and Alphamon.
Well, and I think he also gets to the point where he does that, and he also gets excited seeing
Yeah.
how they were before, because I feel like that fuels the gun blast.
Yeah, he very much like
But then
psychs himself out.
at that point, then we have Alphamon turn into a little bitch and disappear. So
Yeah, true. Which you could say technically they lost. Like they didn't necessarily win the battle at all. You know.
I would say they did lose, because it was basically a strategic retreat.
Yeah.
And if you're going off a home field advantage, which is in Japan, then they fucked up their own land.
They did. They did.
So, you know.
And I feel like the other DigiDestins are starting to grasp kind of what Ty saw towards the end of this movie, with how the Digimon are affecting the world and stuff.
Right.
Because like they kind of just ends and they find out that Mako is like a DigiDestined, which she was in the background a lot of scenes, but nobody really talked to her or interacted with her. She was just kind of there.
You just had to know.
Yeah, you just know that, oh, she's important, I guess. You know.
But I mean, it goes with part of the other stuff, like with the Digimon, the first movie or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
You know, there are DigiDestined all around the world, and so we're getting this storyline of like the main people that we know and we've seen. What about all those other people? So, of course, she goes, "Yeah, I'm a DigiDestined," but
So let me
we don't
ask
have
you:
anybody else
after
comes out like that.
after they get together with uh, Mako, did and they joined up and like, oh, like, you know, welcome to the team, and that the movie ended basically. Did you stay for the credits? Did you watch the
Um,
credits scene at the end?
no, because on my Tubi it just turned off. So
Okay.
yeah,
So yeah,
I didn't even get to see a scene. Maybe if
there's
I
like
fast forwarded it.
there's like a mid credit scene at the end where
Yeah.
it's Ty, Matt, and Sora. They're all standing in the wreckage, and Ty's just looking around. And Matt basically walks up to him and basically tells him, like, you better get with the program or, like, we're going to die. Basically, he's like,
Yeah.
you got to step up and we got to do this. And that's how the movie ends, leaving you on this big cliffhanger. Like, oh my God, like, I can't believe this happened.
Todd, don't turn into a little bitch.
Yeah. I mean, this was an interesting movie. I don't hate it whatsoever. I loved revisiting the cast of the Digimon, the DigiDestins, It was fun.
This is true.
I do feel like the movie does suffer a little in like pacing, kind of, especially towards the beginning, you know. But I mean, most Digimon stuff suffers from something,
See, and I'm not even going to argue about that. I felt like the pacing probably was a little needed.
Yeah.
Because then we kind of got the development of how the characters are currently.
I mean, I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind that, but I feel like things weren't paced out well enough to make the movie flow in like a good direction. Like I felt like it was very disjointed at the beginning.
I just feel like they knew that they had 6 movies to cover, so they're like, "Well, we can't shoot all of our bullets out at once, guys. We're gonna get a little bit, okay?"
Yeah.
But I will be excited for us to cover movie 2 and how it stacks up.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen movie 2.
I really want to know like the rating scale. Well, yeah, we both have, but of course, right now we got to take that out of the equation because we haven't seen it.
Yeah, and one thing I felt really bad for was Gabumon. Like, God, come on! Like, I can't believe Joe did that to Gabumon. Like, just like fuck.
This is what I'm gonna say because this is the thing I told you I was gonna hold off on until we got to it. So yes, I do agree with you. I feel like it is weird that Joe is being a pain in the ass.
Like, Joe is not in this movie
and not really being it. But on the other side, I feel like it's also just as weird that so many of them are doing that.
Yeah.
That are already regrouped together. And I don't feel like Joe being that way is so out of the ordinary, but I do feel that it is kind of out of the ordinary that everybody else is on board already. You know what I'm saying? I feel like maybe one or two of the other people probably should kind of be out of the loop as well, but they're not.
But you think like maybe like why wouldn't Joe drop everything to go save the world?
He didn't want to be a part of it.
But he needed to be a part of it.
I know, but he doesn't want to be a part of it.
I know.
And I think that's where part of it comes in.
But I feel like he did Gabumon a disservice.
What if Mako is his girlfriend?
No, that would be weird because Joe's actually a little older than the rest of the DigiDestins. So he would be like a senior technically. And they were like, I think just starting high school or maybe in the middle of high school.
I think he's only a year older than them, though.
Is he?
Because the other thing is they're all wearing the same uniform when they're in that scene under the bridge.
I have to say, though, I did like it when they wore like their, quote, civilian clothes. I don't know what you would call it. But I like seeing him in like their non-school uniforms. I did not like the school uniform look at all.
The green?
The green. I did not like that at all. I kind of hope they ditch that, like, and just wear like normal clothes.
It's the big green. That's what it is.
Yeah. But something that I did like about the movie, other than I didn't like really like the pacing at points, I liked seeing the Digimon interact with the real world or our world, I guess you could say, and like them dressing up in costumes and stuff. I thought
to go eat at the little bar.
To go eat at like places and stuff, and like Gabumon wear like a jacket and a hat, and
Yeah.
and
The
stuff.
little lady looked at him and was like,
yeah,
"Oh, that's a Tanuki,"
yeah.
Okay, like, or they
Okay,
think they're
yeah.
spirits.
But I mean,
I
like
think the
this,
little old senile lady thought they were just like
yeah,
spirits, like yokai. They're like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's okay."
But I mean, this movie left me with so many fucking questions. Like, it dangles the carrot in front of you. It doesn't answer some stuff.
Hey, buddy, it's just the reunion.
I
Okay.
know it's the reunion, but I wanted more. Like, I wanted like a
Hey,
like.
I'm just gonna call you out on this right now. Okay. I feel like you're gonna say that, and by the time we've watched all 6 of these movies, you're like, "I'm done. I do not want to watch Digimon for like a couple of years now.
I
I
mean,
do
maybe,
not want to go back."
maybe I don't know, but like, I just wanted it to be more clean cut and be like, okay, this is what we got to go do, you know. Uh, like, what happened to the other DigiDestins, the ones that supposedly died? Why weren't TK and Kari with them? They never mention them at all
Yeah.
in the movie. But apparently they're like in the digital world or something. But we don't ever see like Vmon or any of them,
Wasn't there a time though whenever all 3 of them were there and TK and Kari weren't there yet?
I'm not for sure. But but Try is after the show. So the show's already happened.
Yeah, because they have the new Digivices already too. Huh? I don't know. Well, we'll just have to watch more of it.
Stay tuned for episode 2 of Digimon Adventure Try.
Right.
But yeah, what in all, what did you think of this movie?
I liked it.
You like it?
Yeah, I'd give it a 4.5.
It's very much like revisiting an old friend.
Right.
That, you went away for a while.
But that's the other thing. I feel like movie 2 is going to take a hard hit because you do get the nostalgia back from this one.
Yeah.
And we do have some other stuff, but I don't think 2's going to, when we watch 2, I don't think it's going to hit 4.5. I don't think so.
You think so? Because I would give this a 4 as well. As much as problems I had with the movie, like, yeah. I enjoyed it. I love the fights. The fights were amazing. I love seeing everybody. Ty without his goggles looks really weird.
This one is an 8.5.
8.5, yeah. But like Ty, so like I said, Ty without his goggles look weird. He needed his goggles back.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question real quick. In the next one, enemy-wise, what is a Digimon that you would like to see we didn't see in this movie yet?
Well, I know of a Digimon we do see in the next movie.
Hey, buddy, fuck you. We're not talking about that yet.
And it's a Digimon that I really like.
Golemon. Leomon.
It was Leomon.
Centaurianmon.
It was Leomon.
I mean, that's on my thing too. I want to see Leo. I want to see, is it Goblin or Ogre?
Ogremon.
I want to see both of I want to see the well guy.
Oh yeah, but they're not in the digital world, so I don't know if they can. I want to see them go,
but they could pop in. You know what I'm saying?
I want to see them go back to the digital world. I mean, I like seeing them out and about, in Japan, but I want to see them in the digital world too.
They're all going to be in Japan. At some point, maybe we'll see Godzilla rise out of the water.
Oh yeah, but I didn't do it.
What if there really was a Digimon that was like Godzillamon? And they did a movie just like this, and he came out in the same thing. Oh my god!
Oh, that would be funny.
I'm gonna have to write to my congressman. Oh my god! But yeah, that would be great.
All in all, like, this movie's not bad.
Kongmon.
What?
Kongmon.
What?
Kongmon.
Pogmon.
Kong.
Pongmon?
Kong. Kongmon.
Kongmon.
Yeah.
Is that an actual Digimon?
No, I'm saying like King Kong. Kongmon.
Oh, okay.
And then you have like Zillamon, and you could have like Ultramon.
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 Yeah. Anyways, I'm looking forward to talking about the next movie. I hope it's more streamlined, I guess you could say, because I feel like you're kind of all over the place with this movie at
Hey, fuck you,
first.
buddy.
But I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just hope that there's some good structure to it, and it doesn't seem like we're in like a mid-season,
like a slump.
Yeah, we're in like a mid-season slump, and
yeah,
it's like we watch it and it's like, oh, this is so boring. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
So that's what I'm hoping for.
I'm interested to see what the new person can do. Like what?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll digivolve, maybe they won't.
Yeah,
I mean, I can only get really on that go off of the movie where we had basically like the two things that turned into like the Terriermons,
Yeah.
And they fought, and then they, did something else.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little weird. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of all over the place a little bit, but
Hey, maybe y'all can hop on the train too and let us know what you think about it.
Let us know what you think. Go check out Digimon Try if you haven't checked it out.
And what's the name of this one?
Reunion.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the next one is.
If you see it on Tubi, then it actually does the numbers. If not, you're gonna have to look it up on Wikipedia or something, because they don't statically tell you the numbers of what they are.
That's one thing I hate for like the box art on the DVDs.
Yeah,
they don't number it.
Oh,
they don't number the DVDs.
That's shitty.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, which one's which when I'm putting them in order? Because I don't remember.
You're gonna have to recheck that. You're gonna be sitting there like, we'll sit down to do a show and we're talking about it, and you're like, so, Mike, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. Oh shit! I think I watched movie 4. What?
Yeah. No, because I remember going out and like grabbing all of these. Like every couple of months, I would buy one of them. And
I really hope it is like kind of congruent and goes in a line together. And I hope it's not like the Kaleidoscope TV show where it's like, hey, you can watch every episode in any order and it still will make sense in the end.
Yeah. I think eventually it might make sense.
Yeah. I mean, but if we watched them like separately, like out of order.
Yeah, because each of these did like, it took a while for each of them to come out. Like it was like a couple months every movie.
Right. Yeah.
So I've said that's like a hard thing, is having to wait to watch them. So I have to wait to watch this one, I guess, over the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
But to find out what happens in number 2. But anyways, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
See you next Tuesday.